Good morning and welcome back to the 6 a.m. Club where we start our day inspired. We have another mindset mantra this week. We're almost done, I think, maybe this week and next week, and then we'll go back to our normal quotes. But these getting better and better. I hope you're enjoying them. I hope you find them helpful in having a strong start of the year and realizing that you're more powerful than you think that you are. And this week's mantra is going to reinforce that even more. The mantra for today is, I accept responsibility for how things are and how I would like them to be. Here is one more time. I accept responsibility for how things are and how I would like them to be. Today's mantra, this week's mantra, it's all about taking ownership. We all know that there are always going to be things in life that are beyond our control. But I think that sometimes we forget that we have a number of choices when it comes to how we respond to what has happened to us. And how can we act in reaction to those circumstances or those people? See, living through the consequences of our choices can be sometimes uncomfortable, but when we accept our role, the role that we play in each situation, all of a sudden we are empowered. We have the power to empower ourselves. And as we take responsibility appropriately, we can improve our decision making and steer our life towards where we want it to go. So we feel that full ownership for what happens in our lives, instead of constantly blaming other people or circumstances on how things are. Because when we do that, then we miss the opportunity to own our role, our part in the creation of our own life. We need to take charge of our life, learn from our mistakes. Every time that we fall, every time that we make a mistake, it's an opportunity to learn. And as we learn and as we go through life and as we face difficult situations, problems, challenges, we become stronger and we grow. And now our capability of making even bigger, more difficult decisions continues to grow and evolve in a way that enable us to really steer our life to that next level that we want to take it. You know, I really like a quote from Tony Robbins that says, where focus goes, energy flows. And a lot of times when we start to focus on how other situations external to us or other people external to us are responsible for what happens in our lives, then we become a victim. And when we are focused on that and we become a victim, our energy goes into feeling a victim. And it becomes kind of a perpetuous cycle that is hard to break. The only way to be broken is to change our focus. To change our focus to seeing ourselves not as the victim of our circumstances, but as the hero in our lives. And if you think about a hero, any hero, think about a superhero in a movie. The hero is not always winning. If the hero was always winning, that movie would be very boring. And probably you and I would not be going to watch that movie to the movie theater, right? Probably will not get very good ratings. It is the ups and downs in the story that keep us interested throughout the movie. And the same is in our lives. There are going to be times that we're winning and there are going to be times that we're losing or learning. I like more the term learning than losing, because I think that as long as you're learning from your falls, then you're not really losing. You only lose when you give up. But that's a different topic for a different podcast. The point I'm trying to make to wrap things up today is don't be the victim of your life. Don't be the victim of your circumstances and other people's decisions. Take the role of the hero. Take ownership for the role that you play in building the life that you want. And remember, life will not always go your way. But sometimes we need to remind ourselves that there's always a number of choices that we can make in response to anything that happens around us. Dr. Stephen Covey said it really well in the 90-10 rule, where he says 90% of what happens in life is just a matter of how we react to those things. Only 10% is what happens to us, and 90% is how we react to what happens to us. So, be the hero and work towards that life that you dream of. Because if you dream about it, it is possible, but it requires you to take ownership. Now, let me ask you something to close things up, because I always like to finish with a call to action or a question to invite you to think about this mantra today. What would be different in your life if you live your life by this mantra that says, I accept responsibility for how things are and how I would like them to be? I hope you have a good rest of your weekend. I will talk to you again on Monday for another episode of the Leading Yourself podcast.